I love you, Gabby. Okay, so if you guys watched the Gabby Petito hearing, you'll know that the lawyer, Stephen Bertolino, that was trying to get everything dismissed about this burn after reading letter that Mrs. Laundrie wrote, spoke for about 2 hours and said, like, nothing. It was incredible to listen to. Even the judge was like, look, it's 45 minutes, what the heck is going on? Nobody thought it would last as long as it did. So it was absolutely crazy. And it was about that burn after reading letter that Mrs. Laundrie alleges that she wrote before Gabby died, though the letter has no date on it, and that it came from these Little Bear books, which don't mention anything like this. And the lawyer was saying something like, it says it was all about making amends to her son because they were going through a rough patch. And it says, if you go to jail, I will bake you a cake with a file in it. And if you have to bury a body, I will bring the shovel. And if you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. It's really bizarre. Now, let me see, because the family had not even seen the letter. So they're like, how could we not, you don't want letting us see the letter. And they said, well, there should be protection on it because of the way it read. But then the judge said no. So they finally got a copy of the letter. And let me pull this up here. Okay. I just want you to remember, I will always love you. And I know you will always love me. You are my boy. Nothing can make me stop loving you. Nothing will or could ever divide us. No matter what we do or where we go or what we say, we will always love each other. If you're in jail, I will bake a cake with a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will bring, and then it's crossed out, show up with a shovel and garbage bags. If you fly to the moon, I will be watching the skies for your re-entry. If you say you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. Remember that love is a verb, not a noun. It's not a thing. It's not words. It is actions. Watch people's actions to know if they love you, not their words. Therefore, I am certain that neither death nor life nor angels nor the ruling spirits nor things present nor things to come nor powers from above nor powers from below, nothing in the entire created world can separate our love. Neither hostile powers nor messengers of heaven nor monarchs of earth, nothing has the power to separate us. Romans 8:38, extended version, exclamation point. Nothing can separate us. Not hatred, not hunger, not homelessness, not threats, not even sin. Not the thinkable or unthinkable can get between us. Not time, not miles and miles and miles. Hold on one second. Okay, let me get this here. Okay, here's what at the bottom says. Nothing can separate us. Not hatred, not hunger, not homelessness, not threats, not backstabbing, not even sin, not the unthinkable or thinkable can get between us. Not time, not miles and miles and miles. And Brian Christopher Laundrie, burn after reading. So, that's the letter that a judge ruled could be given to Gabby Petito's family today in Florida. Included is a look at the envelope that says burn after reading. Some of the comments here says she's one of those smothering you with weird love kind of moms. Doesn't surprise me. She is literally saying she would do anything for him. Honestly, it doesn't matter if this was written before or after he murdered Gabby Petito. It shows what she was willing to do for him. Maybe she did some of... Hold on a second. Hold on. Maybe she did some of it, or maybe she saw something coming. Bad look either way. Someone said, I will show up with a shovel and garbage bags. What the actual hell? Another one said, her letter proves to me that he was raised by a woman without a moral compass in the strictest sense. From articles I have read by some other family members and associates of Brian's family, they refer to him as very spoiled, lazy, and impulsive person. It's obvious that he was a narcissist and a misogynist with a quick temper. Obviously, I don't believe his mother condoned his actions, but love for a family member should never override consequences for the murder of another human being. Regardless of when this letter was written, another comment says, what she confirms to me that no matter what Brian did, she would protect him. Okay, but you add in, if you murder someone, I'll bring the shovel. You just told me all I need to know about the days after Gabby went missing. Another one said, I knew something wasn't right about the Laundrie family as soon as the story broke. Their response to everything was off. I hope Gabby's family gets whatever it is they need from this lawsuit. Someone said, yep, she wrote that after he killed Gabby, and she knew he had. Her reference to jail and sin make me think so. Among other things. Oh, and burn after reading. Yeah, she knew when he killed Gabby. Someone said, strange she wrote out his full name. As a mother, I would only have wrote my son's first name. No idea burn after reading is her idea of a haha or serious. Someone said, as a mother, this is such a weird letter to write. Someone said, honestly, as a mother, the context of this letter is nothing we haven't said to our children before. In essence, she is saying she will love him no matter what. Every family dynamic is different, and the examples she gave were weird AF. But as a mother to my son, I get it. Someone said, weird. Don't most letters from a mom usually include love mom at the end? Someone said, that's a very bizarre letter, especially from a mother to a son. Sounds like a jealous ex-girlfriend or something, the way it's written with the examples of the lanes she will go. Someone said, I'm sorry, but that sounds like a love letter, not communication between mother and son. Someone else said, sad. Parents like this seem desperate to protect their kids when what people like Brian needed was mental health help to make talking about these mental health issues an okay thing versus covering for them. In this situation, silence may have been a right, but it was wrong for Gabby and their son. Someone says, sounds like a desperate letter written from a mother to a son when she knows he's in a whole world of trouble. I have a hard time judging it. Someone says, strange, but where is the part about bringing him a shiv? I've heard both. It looks like I will bring a file. Yes, that's what it says. She absolutely knew, and I'll continue to think what I've always thought. They were hiding him, and when they were running out, they assisted in his death. He was too much of a coward to take his own life. Someone else said, this sounds like an overly obsessed girlfriend. I have sons. This is not how I tell them I love them, no matter what, or the way I'd explain how much I love them. If this was before Gabby was killed, this would make me think she was encouraging that act. Someone said, this letter is insane. It shows a mother with absolutely no healthy boundaries, and that they knew what happened to Gabby. I think it's too much of a coincidence, the mention of helping to dispose of a body and then breaking him out of jail. Also, burn after reading? I mean, come on. The nothing can separate us. Life, death stuff sounds like she knew what he was going to do and let him go. Miles and miles. Is that a reference to him fleeing, someone said? Someone said, let's see. Wow, of course. Wow, I'm a mother of 3 adult boys, and I would never write a letter like that to them before they did anything crazy. This shows me more than it was written after the fact. Why bring something up like that if there's no reason? Someone said, did Brian have this in his wet bag at the swamp where he died? Someone said, she's giving him permission to commit any crime. That if he does, it's okay. And he did. He kept the letter knowing he had disposed of a body. May have helped him justify his actions to himself, lessen the fear of wrongdoing, and emboldened him. Someone said, the parents need to be held accountable for not releasing information and just basically harboring a piece of emoji. Gabby didn't get the funeral she deserved, and her parents were wondering for weeks. WTH. Love is a verb. Love is action. Watch people's actions to know if they love you, not their words. Yes, your son took the action. So she's offering to commit crimes and engage in conspiracy regarding Gabby's murder. Someone said, ugh, Brian's mom makes me feel sick to my stomach. Someone said, she's more evil than I thought. Very strange, said another. And that's why he did what he did. Another comment. Another one says, after reading it, I believe it's hyperbole. By objective, put aside your feelings for a minute. Think of morbid sayings. I'll kill for XYZ right now. Or dark sense of humor. Are the Laundries morally bankrupt? Yeah. Is this evidence of that? Nah. She is seriously not right in the head, says someone else. It sure sounds like she knew what he did. Wow, I think she should be in jail. What a sick, twisted human. Disgusting human. I wonder if she gave it to him after he went home, after the domestic violence police stop. She must have been pissed. Baby boy was hurt by Gabby. I'm going to guess there was a plan after the incident. These people are sinister AF. Hope they can get any texting, too. While her wording is a little bizarre, it does seem like a letter a mom would write to her son in crisis, but the burn after reading part is the weirdest. The thing is, these are evil people, not stupid people. Why would she write this if she was just covering for him? Someone said, disgusting, no wonder they're the most hated family on earth. They live under the walls of hell. Another one said, who writes their child's entire name on an envelope containing a letter or card? The whole thing is rating high on the weird shito-meter. She knew what he did to Gabby. Well, how Chris Laundrie ended up being such an entitled psychopath becomes crystal clear. I think he means Brian. Ew, she quoted scripture. She talks about burying his victim and then quotes scripture, evil. Okay, so let's go to, we have a Koberger update too, but we're going to do that in a minute. Okay, so Gabby Petito's parents now have a copy of the letter that Brian Laundrie's mother wrote to her son, and so do all of us, which included references to getting a shovel and burying a body. Attorneys for both sides argued in a Sarasota County, Florida courtroom earlier today, over whether the letter is relevant to the lawsuit brought by Gabby Petito's parents against the Laundrie parents and the Laundrie's former attorney, Stephen Bertolino. The envelope containing the letter, which is undated, says burn after reading and was recovered from Brian Laundrie's backpack when his remains were found October of 2021. As we all know, the letter references burying a body, bringing a shovel, and burying a body. The Petito family attorney, Patrick Riley, said in court Wednesday, "Those are criminal acts by the way that Roberta Laundrie has said she would commit the crime." The Petitos sued the Laundries for emotional distress in connection with Gabby Petito's death while they were traveling across the United States. While she was traveling across the United States with Brian Laundrie, her fiancé at the time. Brian came home from the trip without Gabby. That was to clean out some kind of storage. There's still so much about that storage locker thing. And disappeared several weeks later. Gabby Petito's remains were found at the Teton National Forest in September of 2021. And her death was ruled a homicide by manual strangulation. I cannot speak. Before taking his own life, Brian Laundrie wrote in a notebook that he was responsible for her death. According to the FBI, his remains were found the next month in a preserve that was the Mayakahatchee, that was not far from his parents' Northport, Florida home. And remember that his parents drove his car home but didn't report him missing for days after that. In an affidavit that was filed before the hearing, Roberta Laundrie wrote she doesn't know the exact date of the letter, but that she wrote it before Brian left with Gabby for their trip in hopes that it would help repair her relationship with her son. After a lengthy back and forth in court on Wednesday, both parties agreed that a confidentiality order was not necessary to keep the letter under seal once 12th Judicial Circuit Court Judge Danielle Brewer determined the letter could be relevant to the case and the plaintiff's lawyer should at least get a copy. Your Honor, I think at this point we probably would be in favor of a confidentiality agreement on the issue because Mr. Riley just put probably the two worst parts of the letter on the record in open court. So I mean, that's where we would be dealing with that throughout the litigation, said the Laundrie's attorney, P. Matthew Luca. It's unclear, however, whether the letter will be made public. Yes, it was. The lawsuit alleges outrageous behavior of intentional infliction of emotional distress by Roberta and Christopher Laundrie during the time Gabby was missing. The couple refused to return calls or texts to the Petito family as they were frantically trying to find their daughter, it states. The Laundries have argued in court filings that they have no duty to the Petito family. Earlier in the hours-long hearing, attorneys for the Laundries and their former attorney, Stephen Bertolino, who was also named a defendant in the lawsuit, argued motions to dismiss the civil case. The judge said she'll rule on the motions to dismiss in a written order posted on the docket. And, of course, there's a new judge now, and we'll have to see what happens. Let me just get to the thing about Koberger before we go any further. Okay, so the parents of Brian Koberger were called to testify before a grand jury in Pennsylvania for a case related to a woman who went missing in May of 2022 from the area where Koberger lived. Wow. Okay, so that is bizarre. So let's try to find out. Okay, a source close to the case says Koberger has a solid alibi and is likely not connected to Dana Smithers' disappearance. She's a 45-year-old woman who went missing in May of 2022 in Monroe County, the same county where Brian Koberger lived. The grand jury has not concluded their proceedings and the investigation is ongoing, but that source close to Koberger says he has a solid alibi and is likely not connected. Investigators were also looking into another case in Pennsylvania to determine whether Koberger was involved. And demolition of the house where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered is still planned for this summer. The University of Idaho says, despite concern from family members that a jury may need to see the house. Brian Hinton reports that the demolition is still planned. Okay, and then, what's that? Let me get to. Okay, let's go to Alex Murdaugh. Convicted double murderer Alex Murdaugh will be deposed in the wrongful death suit that was filed by the family of Mallory Beach, who died in his son's boat crash in 2019. A judge told the South Carolina Department of Corrections to make Alex Murdaugh, who's serving consecutive life terms for the death of his wife Maggie and son Paul, available for a deposition. No date has been set. The trial is slated to begin August 14th. Alex Murdaugh is alleged to have interfered in the investigation, trying to protect his son. Several witnesses have said that Alex Murdaugh tried to pressure witnesses into saying his son was not the driver of the boat and that one of his friends on board was driving the boat. Police report says that Paul Murdaugh and other passengers on board the boat, which belonged to Alex Murdaugh, were grossly intoxicated on the night of the crash. Yet, the younger Murdaugh was never given a sobriety test. The boat slammed into bridge pilings, which tossed Mallory Beach into the water. Her body was found a week later. Paul Murdaugh was later charged with 2 counts of boating under the influence, causing severe bodily injury or death, and was awaiting trial when he was shot alongside his mother on June 7, 2021. Alex already was charged with dozens of financial fraud charges, was ultimately charged with the murders and convicted after a 28-day sensational trial. The jury took just 3 hours to return the guilty verdicts. No date's been set for the trial on financial charges, which allege that Murdaugh scammed millions of dollars from his law firm, founded by his great-grandfather more than 100 years ago, and clients. He admitted to the crimes on the stand during the murder trial, saying he did it to fund a long-time drug habit. Mallory Beach's family initially filed a suit against Alex and Maggie Murdaugh and their surviving son, Buster, and the convenience store where Paul allegedly bought the alcohol that he consumed on the night of the crash. And that suit alleges that Paul, then 19 and underage, used Buster Murdaugh, his brother's identification and his mother's credit card to buy the alcohol, and that the entire family was well aware of Paul's drinking. The family reached an agreement with Maggie Murdaugh's estate and Buster Murdaugh earlier this year, and they were dropped from the suit. Okay, let's go back to... There's another, let me get this here. Horrible story here about a Maryland man right here who was beaten to death in retaliation for a fight at his son's school, his 14-year-old son's school. Christopher Wright was allegedly beaten to death by a group of men in their 20s and 30s outside of his home in Maryland following a fight involving one of his children. So the Maryland father of three was beaten to death when these men showed up at his house demanding that his 14-year-old son come out. Well, the father went out to tell them that his son's not coming out to fight them. And so they said, well, if he's not going to come out, then you're going to have, we're going to fight you. And they beat him to death in front of his house while all three children were home. And the school that this fight took place at, that they came to have retaliation, was the Brooklyn Park Middle School. And again, the father, Chris, came out to tell them that his son is not coming out to fight, and they threatened at one point to come in and get him, and then they said, if he's not going to fight, you're going to fight. The suspects have not been named, but security footage reportedly captured the men involved in the attack, and the investigation is active and ongoing. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact homicide detectives or the Anne Arundel County Police tip line at 410-222-4700. 410-222-4700.
Excuse me, Carolyn, how old was the father?
43.
Then why were these 20-year-olds after
20 and 30-year-olds there? I don't know.
Why were they?
Because they're probably related to the kid that his son was in the fight with. They're probably fathers and family of the other kid that his son, this 14-year-old, was in the fight with.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, very sad. Very crazy.
Jeez.
Yep. And
this is Brooklyn, New York?
no, Maryland.
Oh.
Yep. Okay, and then there is a New York City artist who was randomly shoved into a moving Manhattan subway train over the weekend is learning to navigate a new way of life after authorities say she was left instantly paralyzed. Amin Soy, 35, was walking along a platform at the Lexington Avenue 63rd Street station around 6 a.m. on Sunday when a man allegedly grabbed her by the head and pushed her into a passing train. This is getting so crazy. Authorities said in court documents the victim was instantly paralyzed. She was taken to a hospital where she underwent surgery for serious injuries, including a cervical spine fracture and lacerations to her head. The suspect has allegedly been identified to the NYPD as a Queens resident, Kamal Samrade, 39 years old. He's been charged with attempted murder and assault. Police say it was a random attack. He didn't know her. According to the criminal complaint, Samrati got on the same uptown train as the artist in Queens that morning before both of them got off the train on the Upper East Side. Investigators do not believe the two knew each other, and they have used security footage and witness statements to allegedly connect Samrati to the crime. Ferdi Asoy identified the victim as his wife in a public statement released Tuesday, saying she was on her way to work at a cafe when the assault happened. According to the statement, Amin Asoy is an award-winning artist, illustrator, and painter who immigrated to New York from Turkey in 2017. Her life has been profoundly impacted by this tragic act of violence. She has suffered a severe injury to her neck that has resulted in significant limitations. Unfortunately, her mobility is expected to be affected, greatly impacting her daily life, but of course, faith and hope are never ending. She's young, she's a strong woman, she's creative, she's empathetic, she's a warrior, she's a true friend who goes out of her way to help people. The Jackson Heights man expressed gratitude to the bystanders who came to his wife's aid during a critical time. The individuals that surrounded her on the train station, that comforted her, the ones that told her everything was going to be okay until the EMTs came, they were there to keep her motivated to hang on to life, and I really appreciated the New Yorkers who came to her aid at that moment. The husband says he's now working to obtain emergency visas for his wife's family members who remain abroad, while Asoy faces a long road ahead to recovery. Her life after this is going to need constant care. We need all the help we can get. A GoFundMe page has been set up for Asoy's co-workers by Asoy's co-workers at the cafe to help with rising medical expenses, which they claim have already reached the six-figure mark. Amin is a source of joy as a friend, colleague, and human being, the fundraiser reads. She's artistic, lighthearted, witty, and above all, someone we consider family. Doctors initially informed us she had a slim chance of recovering movement below the neck. In just one day, she challenged that prognosis by moving her arms. It's a huge step, but her road to recovery will be long and challenging. She's a fighter and is already fighting to recover. She will get there. She needs everyone's help. Samrati is being held without bail. It's unclear if he has entered a plea or retained an attorney to speak on his behalf.
It's a miracle she's alive.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. And then that British nurse that we've been, this is like seems like this trial is just, I can't even believe it's still going on. Lucy Letby. She's accused of killing 7 newborns and attempting to kill 10 more. She pled not guilty to 22 murder and attempted murder charges during her time as a neonatal nurse at the Countess of Chester Hospital. She's now blaming her previous work conditions for their deaths. The 33-year-old worked at the British Medical Center's intensive care unit between 2015 and 2016 before being placed on clerical duties after senior hospital staff reportedly grew suspicious over the number of infant deaths and near deaths in which Letby was allegedly involved. Letby pled not guilty to all 22 charges. During her latest appearance at Manchester Crown Court, Letby alleged the hospital was not a safe working environment. We used to have raw sewage coming out of the sinks and coming out on the floor in Nursery 1, she alleged. According to the outlet, when questioned about the death of a 6-day-old boy, Letby expressed that it's an important thing to know that there was often plumbing issues in the room where he was treated. She added that the alleged plumbing issues could be a contributory issue if the unit is dirty and the staff were unable to wash their hands. Among the 6-day-old alleged victim are 4 other alleged male victims and 2 alleged female victims who were all infants at the time of their death. In one instance of accused attempted murder, Leppi allegedly tried to murder an infant referenced as Child G while the baby's assigned nurse was on a break. Under Leppi's care, expert witness Dr. Dewey Evans testified the baby received far more milk than prescribed and that the overfeeding could have been an accident but was an intent to harm. That baby survived, but 7 others did not. In another instance, when an infant was in distress, Leppi allegedly told off a coworker who attempted to assist. I was shocked because you can't have enough help in that situation, Lisa Walker testified. According to the BBC, I was quite taken aback and shocked because it's not something you would ever expect a nurse to say. Earlier this month, Leppi also took the stand in her own defense, telling the jury that she meant no harm while working at the Countess of Chester Hospital. I only did my best to care for them, Leppi said. That's completely against everything that being a nurse is. I'm there to care, not to harm. De Niro Davis killed Annie Nemoy on Saturday morning. The ex-boyfriend and the Michigan mom fatally shot her in front of their daughter at a car dealership that the victim worked at, and he has been charged with first-degree premeditated murder. According to prosecutors, on Saturday morning, Gregory Kyer De Niro Davis killed Annie Nemo, his ex-girlfriend and mother to his 10-year-old. Davis, 44, has also been charged with multiple assault and firearms-related charges in connection with the death of Annie. Prosecutors say the shooting occurred in the Legend Motor Car dealership parking lot in Royal Oak Township, Michigan. Royal Oak, isn't that where that writer lived? Where Davis allegedly used his vehicle to trap Annie. The victim exited her vehicle to get help, and Davis shot her as she was running away and then shot her again at close range with a 12-gauge semi-automatic shotgun, while the couple's daughter witnessed from the passenger seat of her mother's car. Well, it's unclear if Davis entered a plea. He turned himself in to authorities later that day. It's unclear if he retained an attorney to comment on his behalf. The Oakland County prosecutor, Karen McDonald, said this is a horrific and tragic incident. Every month, an average of 70 women are shot and killed by an intimate partner in this country. This event occurred in the place of a business where other employees were just a few feet away. My office has charged this individual with first-degree murder, the most serious charge under Michigan law, and we will vigorously prosecute this perpetrator for his alleged actions. If you're experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to thehotline.org. Let's see.
For the daughter.
And then we have this. Let's see. Okay, the estranged wife of a former Family Feud contestant suspected of her murder told her sister she feared for her life prior to her death. Timothy Bleifnick is accused of killing Rebecca Bleifnick in her Quincy, Illinois home earlier this year. The pair were going through a divorce at the time of the murder. Bleifnick, 39, said Rebecca texted her in September of 2021, if something ever happens to me, make sure the number one person of interest is Tim. I'm putting this in writing. I'm fearful that he will somehow harm me. The prosecution also accused Bleifnick of conducting a number of disturbing internet searches around the time of Rebecca's alleged murder, including instructions on how to use a crowbar to open a window, how to make a homemade silencer, and local police response times. Rebecca's father, William Pastel, found her dead on the bathroom floor after she failed to pick up her 3 kids from school on February 23rd. 2.5 weeks later, Bleifnick was charged with her murder. Prosecutors allege he used a crowbar to break into her second-story bedroom, where he proceeded to shoot her 14 times. Bleifnick and some of his other family members were previously and some of his family members were previously contestants on the game show Family Feud in an episode that aired in 2020. When asked by host Steve Harvey, what's your biggest mistake you made at your wedding, Blythe replied, "Honey, I love you, but said I do." Not my mistake. I love my wife. I'm going to get in trouble for that, aren't I?" said Blythe. The episode was originally taped in the fall of 2019. Trial continues. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, remember that one we read about that Pennsylvania lady and that guy that did all that stuff? Yeah. Let's see. And here's another one. And this was Daniel C. Howard is facing charges of murder and domestic battery in connection with a February 2021 death of his wife, Kendi Howard. More than 2 years after telling authorities that his wife had fatally shot herself, a former Idaho State Police trooper has been charged with her murder. According to authorities, Daniel C. Howard, 57, of Athol, surrendered himself to the police on April 21st and faces charges of murder and domestic battery in connection with the February 2021 death of his wife, Kendi Howard. On February 2nd, 2021, Howard allegedly called police and told them that his wife had shot herself. Investigators now say they found probable cause after determining that the woman's wound was not self-inflicted. Howard reportedly already had a criminal history. He resigned from the Idaho State Police in 2014 after initially being put on administrative leave without pay as investigators looked into criminal charges he faced in 2 other counties. Authorities allege at the time that he accused of pouring syrup into his friend's car, leaving him vulgar messages, and firing a shotgun at home. Howard also allegedly stole thousands of rounds of ammunition from state police and used a fake name in an application for a motorcycle. After striking a plea deal with prosecutors for charges of malicious injury to property, petty theft, title fraud, failing to tag a deer he shot, he spent 120 days in jail and completed 600 hours of community service. According to the CDA Press, Howard reportedly fatally shot a woman while on duty in 2011, but the incident was later ruled justified by a separate investigative agency. Kendi was remembered in her obituary as someone who had a bubbly personality and ability to make everyone feel as if they were her friend. The 48-year-old Idaho native leaves behind 2 children and 1 grandchild, among other loved ones. Howard remains in jail, no bond, and is set to be arraigned. It's unclear if he has retained an attorney. Okay. And now something about Tina Turner. Oprah Winfrey is remembering her dear friend Tina Turner following the news of Tina Turner's death. Oprah Winfrey, who's 69, shared a carousel of photos on Instagram of her and the music icon spending time together over the years. And I quote her saying, "I started out as a fan of Tina Turner, then a full-on groupie, following her from show to show around the country, and then eventually we became real friends. She is our forever goddess of rock and roll, who contained a magnitude of inner strength that grew throughout her life." She added how Tina Turner was a role model not only for her, but for the world, who encouraged a part of her that she didn't know existed. The television personality, Oprah Winfrey, shared how What's Love Got to Do with It inspired her to live courageously. And I quote her saying, "Once she claimed her freedom from years of domestic abuse, her life became a call for triumph," she explained. "I'm grateful for her courage, for showing us what victory looks like, wearing monolos and a leather miniskirt." She continued, "She once shared with me that when her time came to leave this earth, she would not be afraid, but excited and curious, because she has learned how to live surrounded by her beloved husband, Erwin, and friends." She continued that she had become a better woman, a better human, and because her life touched mine, she was indeed simply the best. In a second post, Oprah shared a clip of her and Tina Turner jamming on stage together singing "The Best." "I had the chance to join Tina on stage during her Wildest Dreams tour and felt a glimpse of her enchanted world. I was nervous that my knees were actually knocking together. Dancing on stage with her in Los Angeles was the most fun I ever remember having stepping out of my box." She went on to describe how Tina lived out of the box and encouraged her and every woman to do the same. Back in 2005, Oprah recalled her experience watching Tina Turner perform in the magazine, saying, "Watching Tina perform is what I call a spiritual experience," she shared at the time. "Each electrifying swing of her miniskirt, every slide of her 3-inch monolos and across the stage sends a message. I am here. I have triumphed. I will not be broken." She added, "When I leave a Tina concert, I feel the same way I do after I've seen any great art. I want to be a better human being." The legendary singer died at the age of 83 on Wednesday at her home near Zurich in Switzerland after a long illness. With her music and boundless passion for life, she enchanted millions of fans around the world and inspired the stars of tomorrow. Today we say goodbye to a dear friend who leaves us all her greatest work. Her music, all her heartfelt compassion goes out to her family. Tina, we will miss you dearly. And let's see. Priscilla Presley said Tina Turner was one of Elvis's favorite performers. She said Tina Turner was one of Elvis's famous performers. When she took to the stage, it was pure magic. I remember how she held an audience with an energy that was undeniably pure. Tina. She has left a remarkable legacy and will surely be missed, sorely be missed by all. Let's see. When reflecting on her career in a program for the London musical based on her life story, Tina, the musician, expressed that her career had been wonderful, and I quote her saying, "I've been blessed with a wonderful career," she wrote in the show's program, "and after more than 50 years of performing, I don't need a musical. I don't need another show, but I get so many cards and letters. I still can't believe how people feel about me on stage and the legacy they say I left. People tell me I gave them hope. I meant so much to people. I feel I have to pass it on, and I hope this show serves what the people need as a reminder of my work." Let's see. And then her manager, music producer Roger Davies, is remembering the unique and remarkable force of nature that was Tina Turner. The longtime manager of the Queen of Rock and Roll paid tribute to Turner, who died at the age of 83 on Wednesday. "Tina was a unique and remarkable force of nature with her strength, incredible energy, and immense talent," Davies said in a statement to People magazine. "From the first day I met her in 1980, she believed in herself completely when few others did at that time. It was a privilege and an honor to have been a close friend as well as her manager for more than 30 years. I will miss her deeply. Rock legends Mick Jagger and Ronnie Wood also honored Turner with their own tributes. I'm so saddened by the passing of my wonderful friend Tina Turner. Mick Jagger, 79, captured his Instagram post of him and Turner on stage. She was truly an enormously talented performer and singer, he continued. She was inspiring, warm, funny, and generous. She helped me so much when I was young. I will never forget her. Wood, who's 75, wrote alongside a photo with Tina Turner on Instagram, God bless you, Tina, the queen of rock and soul, and a dear friend to our family. Love and prayers to all of Tina's family and friends and loved ones. Rest in peace, Tina. Was that? What is that? Refrigerator. My refrigerator's not going. It's making weird noises. Okay. So where the heck is my live chat? Okay. I think I'm in the wrong live chat. Okay. Now I'm in the right one. Hi, facilitator. Let's see who popped in here while I was over there. Hi, Rich. Bucky, Ann. Let me just go. I'm not in live chat either. What is that? My refrigerator's making weird, funny noises. It better not be going on me. Hi, Deborah Barron. Linda Uribe. Let's see. A good story, Linda Uribe said, is a police officer on a traffic stop was being beaten by a huge man, and 4 or so men ran to his aid and pulled the man off, and he was handcuffed, and the officer was saved. Well, that is a good story. Kelly Sweetheart, it's getting crazier and crazier. It is, yes. Reverend Reddy. Rich asked me to check out Samuel Abateman story. Let me look. Samuel Abateman. What? Let me see. I don't know if I have the right. Let me see. Samuel Abateman. Abateman? Is that what it is? Samuel Abateman. I'm not getting anything for that. Abateman. I'm not getting anything for that. Can you give me a little more on that? Samuel Abateman? I'm not getting that. I'm getting stuff about Samuel Bateman. Someone of polygamous leader. Is that who you're talking about? Let me check spelling. Okay. Why don't you just tell, what is it about though? If you give me a little more stuff, then it might come up that I could put something else in. Because it's giving me about a polygamous leader or something. Oh, is that what it is? Hi, facilitator. So, the Arizona polygamous leader contacting teen girls from jail, is that what you're talking about? Samuel Bateman, it's indictment of FLDS polygamous leader. Is that what you're talking about? Lurid new details have emerged from a new 53-count Federal indictment against the Arizona-based polygamist fundamentalist cult and its leader, Samuel Bateman. Is that what you're talking about? The U.S. Attorney's Office for Arizona now accuses Bateman, the self-proclaimed prophet of a splinter group of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and 10 others of causing sexual harm to 9 girls whose ages ranged from 9 to 17 at the time the alleged offenses took place. Federal prosecutors filed the extensive indictment on May 18th, replacing a more limited one against Bateman and 3 followers. The latest court filings, naming 11 defendants, show the scope of the case has widened and the allegations have grown more serious. Bateman has been charged in December along with Naomi Bisline, Danae Barlow, and Moretta Johnson, all of whom Bateman claimed to be his wives. Originally, the 4 faced charges of kidnapping and destruction of evidence in a federal investigation. Josephine Barlow Bisline, Liddell Bisline Jr., Brenda Barlow, Morona Johnson, Torrance Bisline, Leah Bisline, and Leilani Bisline were added to the indictment on May 18th. They are all relatives, followers, and others Bateman claimed as wives. I've seen this guy before. He's 47 and a leader of an FLDS sect in Colorado City. Beyond that, much is still not known about him. He calls himself a prophet. On August 28th, the Arizona Department of Public Safety troopers saw a GMC Denali pull over on Interstate 40, and they noticed a child's hand poking out of a trailer in tow, and then arrested Samuel Rapili Bateman. He was booked into the Coconino County Jail on suspicion of child endangerment, but he returned home. Federal agents grew suspicious that Bateman was deleting records off a cell phone app during and after his arrest and communicating with supporters in Colorado City while he was in jail. On September 13th, agents searched his home. On September 15th, he appeared in federal court on new federal charges dealing with interfering with destruction of records. Last week, indictment listed overt acts in a detailed timeline starting in 2019 when Bateman declared himself a prophet and ended with his arrest by federal agents in the fall of 2022. The acts alleged in court documents described times Bateman took young girls for himself by convincing them and their parents that God had commanded them to marry. The ceremony would often be the first time the girls were told to have sex with him. Some of the girls admitted to fearing, according to the indictment. By the time law enforcement caught up with him, he claimed to have 10 women and 10 underage girls to be his God-given wives. The identities of most remain unclear. In court records filed last winter, federal prosecutors hinted at some of the dreadful allegations that they presented in the new indictment. They include coerced acts, transporting children for with other adults, attempting to marry one of his underage daughters. But the new details, some lurid, go even further. According to the latest accusations, Bateman started a manipulative pattern of taking underage girls in March of 2020 when he claimed a vision from God told him to take... What the heck was that? Told him to take a 9-year-old daughter of a man identified only as MJ as his wife. Reports in the court records allege that Bateman had the 9-year-old sleep in his bed 4 months later. Prosecutors claim that Bateman did this on at least 7 other times. For more daughters were taken from MJ, aged 10, 11, 13, and 14. 2 others, ages 9 and 10, were taken from co-defendants Liddell Bisline and Josephine Bisline. Bateman would also take Josephine Bisline as his wife, according to the new indictment. On at least 2 occasions, it alleges that girls described acts with Bateman. In another account, it claimed that Bateman wrote, referring to one of the girls, that he slept with Angel Mother tonight. In past filings, Liddell Bisline was accused of being involved in Group S acts involving the girls. The new allegations describe Bateman offering up one of the children, 4S, to Liddell Bisline in exchange for a night with Bisline's wife. Prosecutors noted that in October of 2021, a wealthy farm engineer, Torrance Bisline, bought Bateman a luxury Bentley. Months later, according to the indictment, Bateman offered a 12-year-old girl to Torrance Bisline and watched them have relations. Torrance Bisline would buy Bateman a second Bentley shortly after that night. Sitting in Coconino County Jail after his arrest in Flagstaff, Bateman contacted Torrance Bisline and other followers to get them to delete messages and documents from digital services, the prosecutors allege. According to the indictment, after Bateman was bonded out in early September, a 15-year-old girl claimed that Bateman coerced another 15-year-old girl into S and made her watch. While federal agents arrived on September 13th, some of the older women attempted to get rid of or hide evidence, the indictment claimed. One reportedly threw a backpack full of condoms and digital devices out a window. Prosecutors also moved to seize Bateman's belongings. They are seeking to seize 2 homes in Colorado City, Arizona. The prosecutors claimed belonged to Bateman. They were known as Blue House and Greenhouse. For more than a year, several of the girls visited the greenhouse. Prosecutors claimed it was where Bateman ordained them to take part in Group SX. Bateman faces 51 total felony counts. They include the production of child P, interstate travel with intent to engage in illicit S conduct with a minor, and transportation of a minor of criminal S activity. Donna Barlow, Moretta Johnson, and Naomi Bisline face 4 felony counts. They include kidnapping conspiracy to commit kidnapping, tampering with an official proceeding, and conspiracy to commit tampering with an official proceeding. Josephine Barlow Bisline faces 12 felony counts. They include the production of child P, the transfer of obscene material to a minor, and the transportation of a minor for criminal S activity. Liddell Bisline faces 8 felony counts. They include receipt of child P, transfer of obscene material to a minor, and transportation of a minor for criminal S activity, among others. Brenda Barlow faces 11 felony counts. Morona Johnson faces 1 felony count. Leah Bisline faces 2 felony counts. Torrance Bisline faces 5 felony counts. Leilani Bisline faces 3 felony counts. Bateman is scheduled to be arraigned in court on Friday in Phoenix. Okay. So, wow, that's...
How do you find so many people that are like-minded in this?
I don't know.
It's insane.
I don't know. Okay, so now let me get to over here. Who is this freak? Who is it? I don't know. Sassy, it's I just told you, cult leader, polygamist, from out in Arizona. Ask Rich. Billy Boy Blue. Hey y'all, Ramblers, thank you for the super chat, Billy Boy Blue. Appreciate that. Thank you. Tina Turner, so sad. Yeah, sad, very sad. Yep, I got it. Thank you for the super chat, Billy Boy. I didn't hear the little thingy. Hi, Deborah said there should be no bail and no calls. Yep. You missed everything, Sassy Dorsey. Oh, probably did. There's also the Kingston family, part of FLDS, had several wives and 80 children. They used their religion to get away with this. Yeah, Rich says, Sassy, I call him Chad Daybell Jr., weird cult leader. Billy boy. Sorry, says Sassy Darcy. Why are you sorry? Oh my gosh. Who's here? Binky Gregory? Dee, Sharon, Margot, Mary, and me. No. Binky Gregory, are you still there? Evie? Evie. Hi, Christina Ferrari. How are you? Evie?
Evie's still on Zoom.
Why isn't she answering?
She's on mute.
Oh my gosh. She probably fell asleep. She probably fell asleep. Put some meat lotion on. If you're watching the auction replay, you can email to buy an item if it did not sell tonight, Kevin said. Okay. Just putting some of this meat lotion on. I love it. I love it. It's so good. You can smell the prime rib.
Is it the steak one tonight?
It's the filet mignon.
Oh, okay.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
It's filet.
that's my
You could just
favorite.
smell just cuts of meat, all kinds. It's beautiful. Grass-fed beef, cattle.
Oh,
The
I just thought it
best.
was so weird that they said vegan lotion. I'm like, of
It's
course
just so
vegan.
good.
Why would they-
Forget
Deborah
vegan.
Barrett
Who
is-
needs vegan lotion? No. This is grass-fed. This is
Carolyn,
beautiful.
Deborah Barrett is trying to tell you about Brian Koberger's parents, but you already spoke about
Oh,
it.
I
with the
already,
grand jury.
about Dane. Yes, I already spoke about that, Deborah. Thank you, though.
If he has an alibi, why would his parents be questioned?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
Not a lot does. It went good, Sassy.
Right, Carolyn?
But yes, it did. Just love this meat lotion. I don't eat vegan stuff. There's real meat in it. You have to go to sleep. Ciao, baby. Meat lotion. It's delicious. Everybody's complimenting me on it like crazy. You smell like the greatest, like Ruth Chris Steakhouse, It's just, it's unbelievable.
Did you ever go to Ruth Chris?
Oh, yes.
Do you like it?
Yes, I did.
I've never been.
Really?
Really?
Should go. Good night, Rich. Sorry about your friend. Yes. No, that's turkey giblets. This is the only prime cuts of meat in this. It's all grass-fed cattle. It's delicious. You literally, sometimes you find yourself licking your arm. No one can blame you. Maybe one of the IDs he had. Who knows? I don't know, Deborah. I don't know. We'll have to see what's going on. It's all speculation to this point, right?
It's all speculation.
Lots of speculation. I worked in a restaurant. I smelled like food. every night for years. Hey, baby, right there, right back at you. I did the same. Deborah Barron, the case is something else. The case is something else. So. Kevin, I don't know what you mean, Deborah Barron says. No idea. Hold on a minute. I've got to send something to someone. I can't. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Are you kidding me? Hold on a minute. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. Okay, let me see here now if there's anything that I can do here. Trying to get some. See if this will pop up. Okay. So, hold on, I'm trying to get something. Okay. Here, I don't know what happened to my in here. Conversion. Okay. All right. Why is everybody so quiet on the panel? We're gonna have to get rid of all the contestants, Kevin. I have to start the new Zoom. Do I have to start a new Zoom? I do, right? I do have to start a new Zoom.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Kevin said you've all to be terminated. Okay, so I'm going to start a new meeting. We've had to terminate all the contestants due to lack of hustle, and they won't be brought back again. Okay, let's see. And the other meeting now. Let me see here something. Jana Turner, we know that dies at the age of 83. Yeah, that was unexpected. That was going on when the Gabby Petito, but now they're saying that Jamie Foxx suffered a stroke before hospitalization, because they were saying that they weren't saying what happened to him, but now they're saying it was a stroke. And that's according to Mike Tyson. He made a shocking claim. He was appearing on an episode of PBD Podcast, and he said that he's not feeling well. They said a stroke. And Tyson told the podcast before clarifying he wasn't sure if the information was completely true. Well, thanks for saying it. I have no idea what happened to him. Hey, listen, we can't anticipate our next breath. We don't know when we're going to die. After we leave, this bad stuff can happen, the 56-year-old went on to say. I can't believe he's only 56. Mike Tyson, how is that? I wonder what he had, huh? I don't know. And he'll probably wants me to put the new number in. All right. What else can we do here? Let me see if what's going on over here. So we have this about, let's see, breaking. Oh, wait a second. There is something, what does this say? This is another, I guess, remember, and then there's a bird on that Roberta Laundrie thing. And again, if you missed it, I'll read it again real quick. I just want you to remember, I will always love you. And I know you will always love me. You are my boy. Nothing can make me stop loving you. Nothing will or could ever divide us. No matter what we do or where we go or what we say, we will always love each other. Hang on a minute, people. If you're in jail, I will bake a cake with a file in it. If you need to dispose of a body, I will bring, and then it's crossed out, show up with a shovel and garbage bags. If you fly to the moon, I will be watching the skies for your re-entry. If you say you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. Love is a verb, not a noun. It's not a thing. It's not words. It is actions. Watch people's actions to know if they love you, not their words. Therefore, I am certain that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor the ruling spirits, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers from above, nor powers from below, nothing in the entire created world can separate our love. Neither hostile powers, nor messengers of heaven, nor monarchs of earth, nothing has the power to separate us. Romans 8:38, extended version. Nothing can separate us, not hatred, not hunger, not homelessness, not threats, not not even sin, not the thinkable or unthinkable can get between us. Not time, not miles and miles and miles. I don't know why this one transcript, they put backstabbers. That's not in the letter at all. Okay, hang on a minute, Al. Okay. So yeah, that was the Roberta Laundrie letter. Roberta Laundrie letter. Okay. And there you are. Wherever you're going, there you are. I hate that.
And here you are. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I don't know. That's just what Mike Tyson said, Bucky, and I don't know how true that is or not true that is. I don't know anything. It's Mike Tyson that said that. I want to clarify that. Actions always tell the truth. Kevin Leonard. To quote. Kevin's quote. So, I don't know, but, Ross, Rich, it's 2:00. All is well. I'm feeling tired. I think I'm gonna call it a night here on this, platform. Thank you, Billy Boy, for the super chat. Thank you, everybody that came and was listening. Thank you, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Just exhausted now. That guy worked me out a lot of things. Hey, T-Mac, how are you? I think actions can say a lot of things, especially if there is mental illness. Yeah, I agree. All right, everybody take care. Hope to see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. Love you. God bless. Prayers for all that need them. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.